I never thought I'd be telling a story like this, but here we are. I've lived in Crestwood Pines for nearly 5 years, a tidy neighborhood with pristine lawns and houses that follow the same cookie-cutter design rules. I was fine with that when I bought the place. I knew the deal. What I didn't bargain for was Diane Larson, or as the neighbors quietly call her, Dire Diane, the iron-fisted president of our homeowners association. Diane's been ruling the HOA for 3 years, a mid-50s woman always dressed like she's auditioning for a royal audience. Her auburn hair yanked back, so tight it looks painful. Her favorite hobby? Patrolling Crestwood with a clipboard, hunting for any violation, no matter how petty. I'd stayed off her radar until a back injury turned my life upside down, and suddenly, I was in her crosshairs. It started when I slipped on a wet kitchen floor, herniating a disc that needed surgery. Recovery was grueling, slow, painful, and humbling. My doctor arranged for a visiting nurse, Emily Carter, to come 3 times a week for physical therapy and wound care. Emily's a gem, professional, kind, and damn good at her job. She parks in my driveway, stays about an hour, and leaves. Trouble brewed on a Tuesday afternoon during one of her visits. I was mid-exercise, wincing through stretches, when the doorbell buzzed like someone was trying to break it. Hobbling to the door, still sore, I found Diane, clipboard in hand, her scowl sharp enough to sour milk. "Excuse me," she said, her tone anything but polite. "There's an unauthorized vehicle in your driveway." I blinked, confused. "That's my nurse's car. She's helping me recover from back surgery." Diane's eyebrows shot up, nearly vanishing into her hairline. Per HOA Regulation 7.4.2, no commercial vehicles can park in driveways during daylight hours. I took a deep breath, fighting to stay calm. "Diane, it's not commercial. It's her personal car. She's a medical professional providing essential care." She pointed at a small logo on the car to Remilly's healthcare company. "That makes it commercial," she said, smirking. "Move it now, or you're fined $100 a day." Emily appeared at the door, sensing the tension. "Everything okay?" she asked, glancing between us. Before I could speak, Diane turned to her, voice dripping with condescension. "You need to move your vehicle immediately. You're violating HOA rules." Emily, ever professional, smiled. "I'm providing medical care to my patient. I'll be done in 30 minutes and leave." Diane's face flushed a furious red. "I don't care what you're doing. Rules are rules. Move it, or I'm calling a tow truck." I'd had enough. "Diane, be reasonable. Emily's helping me recover from surgery. She'll be gone soon." "Reasonable?" she shrieked, her voice hitting a pitch that could shatter glass. "The rules apply to every and no exceptions." I explained that the HOA bylaws had exemptions for medical providers. I'd checked after scheduling home care, but Diane wasn't listening. She stormed off, already dialing her phone. Emily looked worried. "Should I move my car? I don't want trouble." "Absolutely not," I said. "You're legally allowed to be here. Let's finish therapy." We went inside, but I was fuming. 15 minutes later, a tow truck's rumble shook my driveway. I couldn't believe Diane had actually called them. I shuffled outside, pain shooting through my back, and saw a burly driver hooking up Emily's car. Diane stood nearby, arms crossed, smirking. "Stop," I shouted, wincing. "You can't tow this. It's a medical professional's vehicle, providing care." The driver glanced between us. "Lady says it's an unauthorized commercial vehicle," he said, shrugging. "It's my nurse's car," I countered, struggling to keep my voice steady. "She's inside, helping me post-surgery. Check the bylaws. Section 12.3 exempts healthcare workers' vehicles during in-home care." Diane scoffed. "That's nonsense. No such rule exists." I was ready. I'd printed the bylaws after my surgery, expecting trouble. "Wait here," I told the driver, limping inside to grab the document. When I handed it over, he read it, nodded. "Yup, says medical professionals are exempt while providing care." He unhooked Emily's car. "Sorry, man." Diane snatched the paper, her face twisting as she read. "This is outdated," she snapped. "I never approved this." "It was approved before you took over," I said calmly. "It's been in the bylaws for years." The driver, clearly done, climbed into his truck. "I can't tow a legal vehicle. Call the company if you sort it out." He drove off. I thought that was the end, but I'd underestimated Diane's obsession. She glared as the truck vanished. "This isn't over," she hissed, storming down the street. I returned inside, exhausted. Emily, concerned but focused, finished my session. Don't worry, I told her. She's all talk. I was dead wrong. 2 days later, Emily came for my next session, and Diane was ready. She'd parked a lawn chair across from my house, like she was tailgating a showdown. The second Emily pulled into my driveway, Diane charged over, clipboard in hand. I opened the door before she could ring, bracing for round two. Diane, we've been through this. Emily's allowed to park here for medical care. She ignored me, zeroing in on Emily. I've reviewed the bylaws, she said, smirking. Healthcare workers may be exempt from commercial vehicle rules, but not from the 45-minute visitor parking limit. Your sessions take an hour. That's a violation. I couldn't believe it. Are you seriously nitpicking 15 minutes? This is medical care. Rules are rules, she said, her new mantra. Emily stayed calm. Mrs. Larson, my patient's recovery requires full sessions. Cutting them short could harm his progress. Not my problem, Diane shot back. Finish in 45 minutes, or you're towed. I've got the tow company on speed dial. She waved her phone. Emily touched my arm. Let's go inside. Getting upset isn't good for you. She was right, so we continued, but I couldn't focus, knowing Diane was outside, circling like a shark. 40 minutes in, the doorbell rang. There was Diane, tapping her watch. 5 minutes left, she said, grinning. I snapped. Diane, this is harassment. You're interfering with medical care, which could be illegal. Her eyes widened, then narrowed. Don't threaten me. I'm enforcing rules everyone agreed to. I'm not threatening, I said, straining to stay calm. I'm warning you. If Emily cuts my therapy short and it hurts my recovery, that's medical interference. Diane scoffed and returned to her chair, watching. When Emily's session hit the full hour necessary for my care, Diane was back, dialing. That's it, she crowed. The tow truck's coming, and you're getting a fine. Emily stepped forward. Mrs. Larson, interfering with prescribed medical care can have serious legal consequences. I've documented both incidents in my patient's record. Diane faltered, but doubled down. You can't scare me with empty threats. I know my rights as HOA president. What Diane didn't know was that Emily had been thorough. With my permission, she'd photographed Diane's stakeout, recorded our exchanges, and consulted her supervisor after the first incident. The healthcare company's legal team was already involved. When the tow truck arrived, Emily approached the driver, showing a letter from her employer stating that blocking her care could be a criminal offense. The driver backed off, refusing to tow. Diane was furious. This is absurd. You can't ignore rules because you're special. Actually, I said, done with her games. Medical necessity trumps HOA rules. Maybe talk to a lawyer before you keep this up. Fine, she spat. If that's how you want to play, I will. The next few days were quiet, and I hoped Diane had backed off, maybe realizing she was on shaky legal ground. Then came Monday, and she went nuclear. Emily arrived for my session, and Diane was waiting, flanked by 2 HOA board members. As Emily parked, Diane blocked her path to my door. You're trespassing on HOA property, she declared, though we were on my land. Leave immediately. Emily tried to step around. Ma'am, I'm here to provide medical care. Please move. Then Diane did the unthinkable. She grabbed Emily's shoulders and shoved her back. I said, you're not welcome during business hours. Get out. I'd been watching from my window and called 911. I need to report an assault. The HOA president just pushed my nurse and is blocking her from providing medical care. The dispatcher promised a quick response. Emily, now recording on her phone, stayed calm. The other board members, seeing things spiral, bolted, wanting no part of Diane's stunt. Diane, I called from my doorway. The police are coming. You just assaulted a healthcare worker and interfered with medical care. Leave my property now. Police, she stammered, paling. That's ridiculous. I'm enforcing HOA rules. I called them because you shoved Emily, I said. That's assault. HOA rules don't let you touch people. Diane turned to her board allies, but they were gone. Her bravado cracked. I was just doing my job, she insisted, her voice weaker. When the police arrived, Emily and I gave statements, backed by her video. The officers were professional but unimpressed with Diane. Ma'am, one said, interfering with medical care is serious, and physical assault is a crime, period. Diane, now ghost white, kept muttering, I'm the HOA president, like it was a shield. That doesn't give you the right to touch anyone or block their work, especially medical care, the officer replied. To my quiet satisfaction, they arrested Diane for simple assault and interfering with medical career misdemeanor and a Class E felony in our state, carrying up to a year and 1 to 6 years in jail, plus hefty fines. As they cuffed her, her polished facade crumbled. This is outrageous, she cried. I've done so much for this community. But the handcuffs clicked, and reality sank in. Diane was released on bail, but a judge issued a restraining order barring her from coming near me or Emily. At an emergency HOA meeting the next week, she showed up, a shadow of her former self, hair flat, clothes rumpled, her usual smirk gone. The board voted unanimously to oust her as president for conduct unbecoming. And as the gavel fell, her face froze in disbelief. You can't do this, she whispered, voice breaking. This is my community. I built it. But her reign was over. Crestwood Pines exhaled, free from dire Diane's grip. My recovery continued, uninterrupted, and Emily parked in my driveway without a hitch. The neighborhood felt lighter, like a storm had passed, and I realized sometimes the smallest battles over a nurse's car or a petty rule can topple the biggest tyrants.